What's up, y'all? It's Jam and Sam, and today we're going to continue Treetop Tumble Recreation. Yeah, so I have all the instrumentation down pretty much. I do believe it is correct. Now we're just going to make sure that the notes are correct. And I have here a rip from the game provided to us by Hiratina. Let me listen to this one and see. Let's see. I want to first start with the Marimba here. Okay, so keeping that in mind. Switching. Some of these might be changing. It does change a little bit here. See, these are the same, these two. First it starts playing long notes, and then it shortens the notes here. Like, so the notes are like pretty much ring out all the way. And then here they start getting short. And here, I think the notes change further, but I think this change is recorded in the thing. But yeah. And it sounds like some notes are like causing, like if I layer it together with the original and the marimba, it sounds like some notes are causing dissonance. Let's see. Maybe. Let's see. It sounds like one of those notes in the beginning, like this. Let's see. Yeah, one of these notes is wrong. Or maybe both. Maybe it's supposed to be like this. Okay, I think that's better. Okay, I think all of these notes here are kind of wrong, are pretty wrong. So here it's like a major sixth, or yeah. Major sixth or minor sixth or whatever they call that, but here it's different. Either this one's supposed to go down, or the other one is supposed to go up. No, I think it's the other one supposed to go up. And I think we have a note missing, maybe? No. So I think it's the other one supposed to go up. Oh, interesting. No, I guess not. So right now we have a minor sixth. So what is supposed to be happening here? Let me see if it's, let me try disabling, one layer out over another. Okay, so it sounds like this one's wrong. And the other one is right, so this one is the one that's wrong. So what's wrong with this here? Maybe it's supposed to be down? Okay, I think that's better. But this one, this note is different. Or it's supposed to be different. But I'm not sure which layer it is again. Let me see. Yeah, I think it's the top one again. Maybe it is. Oh, I guess it is like that. Okay, so let's make this one unique, and this one is going to be repeated twice. And this one we will control L so that all the notes are longer. They ring out. Okay, there's definitely, this note is, this note is wrong, but which layer is it? Could be both. I think on this layer, both this note and that note are wrong. Maybe not. Okay, that sounds right. Okay, and then this one, the same thing again. That one's, I think it's the exact same change, really. Okay. Okay, the rest checks out. Nice. This is so cool. Thank you, Hexagon Heal. Welcome. Okay, so Marimba sounds good so far. Let's see what happens. Okay, so that's pretty much ought to do it. Let's see about this part. That one's going to be hard to hear. Yeah, that one, the notes are really buried under there because it's like a sine wave pretty much. But I don't think that this is the, I think it's like, or maybe there's a third note in there. Or maybe it's like this. Kind of sounds like it could be. Actually, it might be. Yeah, there's definitely another note in there too. Nice. That one sounds good. Except that I don't think there's that lower part harmony there. I think it's just the upper part. Yeah, definitely not. Okay. Okay, now let me check that for timing purposes, and this will not, layering will not work for timing purposes. Let me check that line against that. I think there's one note here that's like, this note is kind of supposed to be longer. Like going all the way connecting to the next note. And I think probably this note as well. Yeah. Okay, and then there's that trill is a lot quicker. This note is also a lot quicker over there. Let's see, is it so okay, so it's like so this note is just like a lot quicker. I'm holding Alt to do this, by the way. Okay, this note has to be longer, and then this one does too. And I think and these notes do too. Maybe just Control L this. And I think all the notes are pretty much like and these are all like legato. But this one is really quick. And I think there's like another note here. If you hold Alt and then put this here. Okay, and I think these can all be a little bit, these can be a little bit longer. Okay. Nice. it feels like there's more swing here. Let's see. And I think these are moved to the right a little bit. Like the swing notes are swung more. Nice. Cool. I like that. You're doing welcome, Etobio. Doing God's work out here, I see. Thank you. Your microphone is much louder than FL. Okay, I'll fix that. Let's see. Let me subtract my voice 2 decibels and give it to FL Studio. Okay, so now clarinet. Okay. So it looks, I think the notes here might be shorter. And I think it would probably be a good idea to quantize each of these, quantize all the notes, and let the what's it called? Like, because the sequencer has an automated swing knob, it might be better to let the swing knob handle this sort of thing. So I'm gonna try that, and then if it doesn't work, we can always undo it. Let's see. Okay, swing knob going up. Okay, good. That sounded good so far. Beautiful. That way we can get an internalized, like a unified swing. And this one too. I don't think any of these are actually needed, really. Oh yeah, this. Oh wait, but it also quantized the trill notes. We don't want that to happen. So let's go and select all of those trill notes and make sure that they are exempt from this. Shift I and then Control Q. And then this we can remove. Oh, I didn't know about this. Is this anything? Forgot about this. Okay, I think that ought to do it. Quantize. Okay, and then if I shift C, and then shift I, and then copy all of these, and delete this, and then paste the new part, that should work. Oh, this is part of the marimba, actually. So I think most of that is actually not being used. Okay, so pretty much this is not being used. This is not being used. This is not being used. What is this? Yeah, this part is being used. Like this part here. Okay, so that means in order to consolidate this, we can just shift, select, and then shift I, shift left, and then select this, shift, left. Let's go shift, left, and then select this, shift, left, and why is that part not there? This part needs to be there too. And of course FL Studio is going to break the snap grid and put stuff where I don't want it. Nice. Okay, now we have to correct that within the playlist by doing this. And this we have to hold Alt and drag that out of the way. Okay, this part is just like this, I think. Okay, and then this I have to go into a beat snap. Oh, this is also not supposed to be here. Okay, and this is out of order. Oh, but that one doesn't come yet. This one waits and just has 2 of these. This time, it plays this one. I think it plays it here. Which I don't think those are the right notes either. Nice. Okay, and then we have that do 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 do. No. Okay, not here. There it is. Okay, this where it still works here. Wait, hold on, there's a difference here. Ah, there's another ending here. So if we go and then I think it ends here instead of there. Okay. Okay, perfect. So it's just those 2. Nice. Oh, look at this. We have a rogue pattern. Nice. Nice. And I think there's some disparagement between the timings here. I think it's the other one. The original has a little bit more of a complicated timing. It sounds like it's going in thirds of a beat. Interesting. Look at this one. Let's see if we can do that. I think this one has a funny timing too. And maybe this one too. Nah, not that. Nah, it's got to be later than that. Let's see. Let me go back to a step. Quantize that, and then maybe give that. Nah, it's not the same. It's a really intentionally offbeat time. Either that or it's this, like it's... No. Yeah. Nah, it's not that. Something a little more precise. I think it's actually like it's all of these like just equally the same distance mostly. Yeah, there we go. That sounds right. So basically I just need this to go. Yeah, that sounds good. Although I swear these odd notes are actually later. Let's try something like that. Ah, there it is. That's it right there. like that. Welcome, Am Trent. Super appreciate the update, the tracks you restored. Love the DKC soundtrack. Had them on my inspiration in my Minecraft building. Keep up the awesome work. Thank you. Glad you enjoy it. Welcome, Trade of All Jacks. Morning. Thank you, Drew Stalgic, for $5. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Glad you enjoy it. Welcome, Resterminator. Guys, after this creation, can you try to recreate the Enchanted River? It's too beautiful. I don't think I have enough samples for that one. They like pretty much all the sound effects are missing in that one, and there's like a lot of percussion stuff that I don't really have. It would be a stretch, but we'll see. My melody reminds me a bit of Under the Sea. Oh yeah, Under the Sea. Da 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 da. So it's basically kind of doing that same thing. Da 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 da. So it's kind of doing that same motion. Good syncopation master. Okay, so now we have the clarinet here, and this is what I wanted to do the pretty much what I wanted to do the quantization for. Oh, but this I was like, what is that? That's not going to quantize well. Let's see. Control Q. And then we have... Okay, that makes the timing better, definitely. And there's a trill here that I think is not... Yeah, there's like a... So it's like, there's a quick hit note here. No, not that. Okay, I think it's the swing is like unfairly moving that there we go, that's better. But this one needs to be quicker. Yeah, there we go. And this one probably should be low velocity. And then we should have the same thing over here. Nice. And this one's a really short note here, this second one. Okay, and there's definitely a split of the notes here. And this note is not supposed to be as long. And then you have another note, I think you have another ghost note here. So if we hold Alt and do that, And I'm not so much as I'm not really feeling this pan flute, this clarinet. I think I might go with the other one because I had recently switched them out for something I felt was better, but I don't feel that this one is quite the same sound. I think the other one was closer. Particularly, I think it was the Emu. Clarinet Emu or something like that. Did I remove it? I hope I didn't remove it. Probably removed it. Let me see if it's in my recycle bin. Ah, there it is. Perfect. Let me see if that one works better. Let's put it in alphabetical order and then see what's at C. There it is. So if I then... Let's see how that works. Yeah, that one's better. There's another ghost note there, right here. If I put my snap to none, nice. Okay, and there's another trill here. There's like a ghost note there. Let's see. Let me see, is that... Ah, I see we have a pitch bend here. Look at this. Okay, so let's get that pitch bend going. So to do this pitch bend, we want to go to automation and contact. And then we find it, something that's not yet assigned, and then we send that to the tune of the clarinet. And so then we go to collapse this one, go to current project, and go to contact number 2, and go to tune, and so Okay. Okay, let me make sure I've got the right note. Yeah. Okay, so it's a quick push up. So let's see. And it should be just one note. And but we don't. Thing is, we don't know how much one note is because it doesn't show us in the toolbar. Contact is not the greatest plugin when it comes to working as a VST. So I want to put this tune up to one step, and then Control I to insert what that is. And then I want to tell it to go back down when it starts a new note, which would be here. But I need to reduce my snap, make the snap smaller to do that. So then let's select that and then set the tune back to 0. Control I. Okay, so now we know where our pitch bend starts and stops. So now I just need to zoom in real close. And I need to give it the slope. So let's, whoops. Let me select just this. I think that'll help. Nope, doesn't. Let me do paint, see if that stops it from ruining what I've done. Yes, it does. Okay, great. And I have to like right click, or this won't work. I think no. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Quick one. I think it can be slower than that. Nice. Nice. Okay, that works. I think there's another trill. There's another trill in that same spot when it repeats itself. So let's take this bar and let's copy it and paste it. And then let's go over there and let's delete that note. Oh, it's the next bar over. It's not quite there. So let's select this and go to Edit, Insert Space. Okay, and I kind of think that there still should be another note starting there. Yeah. And I think the slope has to start earlier. So let me set my snap to none. And then select a little bit and let's move it over. Oh wait, but it's still, you still have to, it still has to end at the same time. I forgot about that. Let's see. Let's go and insert space, so then it stops at the same time. Oh, why does that note stop so short? Interesting. I think it would be easier to edit it where it would... Oh, it was still doing that before. Interesting. I think I have to, like, put some space between the note. Because I think something to do with the pitch change ruins it. You see, it has to snap back down before. Control delete and then see what that does. Interesting. Doesn't help at all. When is this changing? So it plays if you play it in when. Okay, there it goes. That's good enough. That'll have to do. Yeah, that'll do all right. Guess there's nothing I can do about that. Contact is just not really that great of a plugin. Okay, so now that last part, I want to have that trill like also play over here at the beginning of the note. Let me just make sure that it does start right at that note. It does not. It starts before. And that exact spot is right here. So let's select that and paste. But this one has to be 2 steps, so although unless I started at C sharp, then I can do that. Yeah, that'll do. Nice. I don't know why this is here. This should be here. Okay, so the sax. First of all, the notes are shorter, and I need to quantize it. Control Q. I think there's also a trill note here. What the? It's almost like there's a space between all the notes. Except these are all connected very closely. And it sounds like these two are one note, so if I remove this, and then just do a pitch bend there. Welcome, Gamer XT. Welcome, Kanal Zinwadu. I'm dying for the bonus music in this game. That one I still don't know. I'm still missing a synth patch for that, I think. And that would need some looking into as well. So this, let's see. I think that's all one note, actually. Yeah. Dave is a sax player, so he kind of knows, like, it's easy. It's probably easier to slur all those notes together than to play them separately. So this part, I think I can do this in the like in the MIDI notes. That would be cool. If I Control I to paste, like, put 0 down, so the rest of the time it stays 0. And then I have to switch to pattern to do this. Okay, so first of all, these notes are too short. Okay, so here is where I want the bending to start. And so it basically just goes, and at least here in the MIDI I can sort of have a guide. So I can say that I want to end up, at least I can see that it's 100 cents. So I just have this, and then I can do kind of a, I guess I can do an interpolation. Will that work? No, I guess not. Oh. Okay, so I just have to go. And then it has to go down on the very next step here. Oh, it actually doesn't obey the automation. Okay, so I will have to do that actually. In contact. That's other stuff. Here's the one for the sax section. So this one, I take the next knob and then drag that to the tuning. After which I'm going to want to go to contact. Contact number 2, because the first one is being used for the SNES instruments. I still might do a crossover with the original, and by the way, we'll see how that comes out after this. So let's paste this here. Cool. It's let me make sure that the scale is right. It's kind of unnoticed. It's a little bit unnoticeable. Make sure that the scale is right on the pitch. No, it's actually not. So the amount is only about 3/4 of a note, so it needs to go up more. Possibly quicker if I can, because it's a little bit. Okay, so. And then this can stay can be at the same place. Okay, so let's see what that peak is looking like now. 97, that's close enough. And let me make sure that it's a sustain sort of thing, that there's no decay on that. Yeah, there's no decay on it, good. Okay, now let me check the timing on that one. Ah, we have a bend there too. And we have a trill up there at the top note. Nice. So it's like a bend down a little bit. Very jazzy. So first, all these notes need to sort of be like shortened a little bit. Just hold Alt and then drag it a little bit. I think this note was like lower down. And this note was like shorter. Okay, I think the notes might be a little shorter, with the exception of this one. I might just be hearing it more on this note. Oh, this note is just the one that's shorter, I think. Okay, so on that part, let's go and get our tuning. I also forgot to do the bending on that last note. Let me put my snap back to none. And so that bend should start here, I do believe. Let me make sure that's... Sounds like there's a little bit of sustain first, and then there's like a drop off. Okay, I need the exact moment that that note is playing. Okay, I would like to start the bend here. I think it's just straight up fall, like downward. It falls pretty far. No, it has to start earlier than that, and maybe not so low. And it has to be slower, I think. Yeah, it can start later and then take its time. And then we'll remove this little dip here. I'm try to smooth that out a little bit. Is that what that does? Is it smooths it out? No, I don't think so. I think there's some portamento on that too. It does quite sound like it. This is so different than the SNES version, which is a bit ominous, right? It would be a little bit of a change. Like it would shift within the song. I like the rhythm to this music, although it sounds more like something for a tropical place. It's really jazzy. It's very jazzy, so it would be more jazz style. Welcome, Pootsauk. It's probably a little bit of both from the lack of bass and the preferred style. Okay, so and this bend still sounds. I think it sounds too far. Like I'm going too far with it. It needs to be somewhere like right here, I guess. And I think it's too slow now, and maybe still a little too far. Yeah, maybe not too slow, maybe it was just too far. And maybe not far enough now. It has to sound sort of like that. Yeah, I think it's too light now. It has to go down further. And maybe it starts too early. Yeah, okay, that'll do for now, and I think the patch does have like a portamento effect on it. I wonder if I can do that from here. Oh, interesting. That slur, that just like fuses the notes for some reason. Okay, so, and I always had bad experiences trying to program portamento in Contact, but let's see. Glide, that's basically portamento. It needs to be faster. So let's see. I think this is this speed, which... Okay, if I turn up to 12, at least it starts to take some good effect. Okay, not really. I still don't like the bend. Let me see what's happening on the knob anyway. Yeah, it might need to go faster and further. And then just stave off. I can't even go further because, or sooner. I think it has to start later. That'll do. I think that works. Nice. Okay, so that should do it for the sax and clarinet, the reeds anyway, we'll call it. Let's see what this is, what this goes on here. Okay, that's the Yamaha marimba, and I didn't forget to I forgot to remove the loop points in that sound font. Let me do that real quick. You guys probably won't be able to see this, but let's remove loops altogether. Okay, and save. Oh yeah, it's not letting me save it because it's technically open. So it's saved as a new thing. Let me see if... No, those are... Okay. I don't think that's the right notes. Maybe. Yeah, maybe that is the right notes, actually. Yeah, that makes sense. Pitch is not my strong suit. I think those notes are offset. Okay. Wait, hold on. Oh, I think it's also because I have to do the, like, quantization. But there's some trill notes here that I want to protect from that. Possible. Okay, so Shift I and then Control Q. But I have to be in step mode to do that. At least this is a repeat, so I don't need that. So I can go to bar and shift to the left. Okay, so I think because of that shift, there's like a thing, so it should be. Ah, yes. Nice. Oh yeah, there's another note down there too that starts the flam off. Oh, it has to be a lot quicker than that. Hold Alt and move that here. Much even quicker than that. Hold Alt and there we go. Okay, these two notes have to be fused together. So we'll use Control G. Okay, now I'm thinking that the clarinet also has portamento. Let's remove that filter there. Let's make it fast. Nice. I still hate that that note is cut short. Might help if I, maybe it would help if I give that a slow slope down. Interesting. At least it's Partimento now. Okay, that sounds better. Except it doesn't work half the time. Okay, that sounds better. Sounds like it could be higher. Like it's one of those, it might be up an octave or something. Nah. I think that's right. It's just gotta have more, it's probably just gotta have more treble. Oh, and it has the flute in it too. Yeah, that's it. Perfect. Okay, so that needs more, like, those notes are wrong. Oh yeah, this one is all the way, these two are all the way into the sound where it needs to be right here. There we go, perfect. Except that this one, it's too short. Yeah, that sounds good. And I think that these notes were a little bit earlier than that. Maybe it's just that this note is shorter. Yeah. Interesting. Maybe. Yeah, this note can be stretched. Nice, okay, that tracks. Actually, I think it should be where it was before that with the, yeah. And then the note gets stretched out here. Nice. And I think, oh yeah, this note is actually short. And then there's a trill here. Nice. Ooh. Okay, and here's that part that was missing with the flutes, where it's like do 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 do. And I think it's like da 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 da. I'm not sure if these are right. Yeah, I feel like, oh yeah, this is part of the F chord, so this should be like this, probably. Okay, good, very good. Okay, what's supposed to be here? Ah, that's that. Da 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 da. Okay. this one's first. Okay, hold on now. No. These have to switch places. But one has to be higher and the other has to be lower. Oh no, it does. Oh no, it does have to switch places. Okay, so this one would probably have to go down a note, and this one has to go up a note. And then there's a note here. Okay, here we go. Nice. I don't think this note is here. Okay, very good. Now the drums are pretty simple. Wait, what's happening here? Ah, here we go. Wait a second. Ah, that was all the way over there. What? Let me go back to that and then copy those. Copy that, and what? Copy that, and then go back to here, and what are you doing? It just removes the dialogue. So dumb. Okay, so this part, I copied the whole thing because if I selected it, would ruin my undo bit. So what I need to do is just take this, cut it, paste it where it should be, and then remove the rest. Oh, did this thing still got ruined. Look at that. Except that this is not the right timing for this. Probably FL Studio ruined my timing again. It's like quickly after the downbeat, so... Okay, that's out of tune for definitely. Oh, it got put out of tune anyway. Nice. Okay, so the drums I know is already right. Let's see. And then the Dyna bass just needs echoes, but that'll be done in post. Now the big thing is the bass. The bass is gonna have... So the bass is not really... Okay, and the bass doesn't have that starting out thing. Why is it still... No, edit this. Wait a second, something went wrong. Yeah, it moved. Oh, it changed the tempo on me. That's what it did. Nice try. Okay, so this, if I hold Alt and do like that, then I can take out those notes because I know those notes are not there. Okay, so I can hear that it's doing da dun 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 dun. Okay, I can think most of those notes are not correct, actually. Okay, so... I think he's using an upper octave anyway. Yeah, he's playing the bass high, and I think this is one note here. Okay, this is one long, so it's like dun 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 dun. Also, I do want to quantize these as well. And I think when it goes down, it's like da da da. And I think it's dun 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 dun. So it's like, oh yeah, I already had a thing in there. Oh, this is the falling thing, falling articulation. We don't want that. Oh, this is a kick. It's like a. That might be that noise, that percussion noise I hear in the second part. Yeah, that doom doom. That'd be good for the drums, like to put it in a new pattern. I'll do that later. Oh, this is not a different articulation at all. This is noises. Okay, interesting. So that means we want to put this all the way back. And I think these are supposed to be longer here. And it shortens them, but it shortens them for some reason. Why does it do that? Do they all have to be the same color or something? Weird. Okay, so okay, so two things. These notes are one note, and I think this is supposed to be like legato. And this one plays shorter for some reason, and it's not like I didn't say to play shorter or anything. It just plays shorter. Okay, there it goes. If I have to give it, yeah, I have to give it enough space. Or for some reason the patch is programmed to cancel out. Okay, this I think it has to be like later. Okay. And it's not swinging, it's not obeying the swing pattern for some reason, which is curious. I don't know why it's suddenly not doing that. I don't know what's going on with that second part yet. Maybe if I quantize it again? No? Maybe if I stop doing that, it'll do it. Maybe it is. I think it is actually swinging. I'm just... Why is this note not... Yeah, why does that note have so much attack? I guess it doesn't have enough velocity. Hold on. Okay, there it goes. Okay, there we go. Okay, that second note here, this needs to be... This needs to be like a really short note, like dun 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 dee doo dun. Okay, so does this part here. And so does this one, I think. Okay, so and this note has to be a lot later. No, maybe it's a lot earlier. Maybe it's earlier or something. I don't know what it is. Da da da. Yeah, maybe it's that. Ah, and there's another note in there on the second phrase. Ah, I see. There's like the phrase. Yeah. Okay, and then there's that part where it does staccato. Let's see. Okay, interesting. So that part. Dun, da, 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 dun, da, da. Let's see. Da, da, dun, da, 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 da. So this has to be one note. And these are all legato. And that's the wrong timing. Okay, these notes I remember have to be more legato. These notes have to be legato. Ah, and this one has to be shorter or it's going to cut off the note before it. And so does this one. Control Shift Select. Okay, but these shouldn't have to be repeated so much. Yeah. These are all repetitions here. I think it's that, yeah, it starts there. Or even I think even those are repeat repetitions. Yeah. It's that bridge and then it just repeats the other part again. Okay, so let's check that one more time. I think that one's good. I think these can be legato. Ah, these can be legato as well. Okay. I think this one stops, like it does. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, this one is always kind of short because of the way the beat works. And I think this one should be cut too. Actually, I think these can be fused, all of them, like occurring at this point. Control G to glue. I think this one goes down here even. I think this one is the one that's like down. Nice. Okay. Great, let's... Okay, that has to be a lot louder though. Okay, so here, I think is where the noises start, because you can hear... Yeah, so I can kind of hear the beat that he's doing with that. It would be, and I have to give this space to have the beat first, and then you can go on to the fill. Probably this one right here. Now let me see, what was that beat again? It was like doom, 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 doom. Okay, so it's probably more than one bar. Unless I have, yeah, I have a beat set, never mind. Okay, so... Okay, that should be right. Now those notes seem like they're the wrong timing. Dun, 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 dun. Sounds almost like the timing of the flute there. But that's sync. Okay, then you have this part again. I think it's like dun da 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 dun da 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 da. Okay, no bass, no regular bass there. Okay, then we have that beat again. Okay, very good. Welcome, Jose Pradrano Peralta type. Welcome. Welcome, Bipuefli. These notes. Yes, and these notes, in fact. Like that echo effect. Nice, there's not even any echo yet. Okay, so volume. First of all, a lot of volume rebalancing has to be done at this point. Okay, the main marimba needs to come up a bit. Oh, this has to be repeated twice. And then this part. Now, I'm not so much liking that flute synth. I think it's actually the Pro 53 patch that I had originally envisioned. Where is that patch? Oh yeah, it's in the thing. This one's always so hard to find. Let me... I don't want all that mess while I'm trying to find it. Hold on. So it was called Flute with Vibrato or something like that. Fruit with Verb or something like that. Yeah, Flute with Verb. So where is that? Because I think that one sounded actually closer. Dun da 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 dee da doo. Run da 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 dee da doo da 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 da. Takes so long to find because the presets are not even in alphabetical order. Although, perhaps if I view them in the FL browser, they'll be more in alphabetical order. Oh, they don't actually have them stored there. They're within the plugin itself, but somehow they show up here. I don't know why. But Native Instruments is notorious for refusing to put their presets in alphabetical order. Makes it very difficult to find what I need. Oh, there it is. Fluty with verb, right. And this has to go down an octave. Okay, that just has to be a lot louder, really. And turn off the delay. Even with full volume within the plugin, that's not really working out. See how that works. Even then, I think the plugin needs a little boost. Yeah, that's much better. Yeah, it wasn't. I don't have any echoes on it, but it might give you some sort of a slapback effect. I don't know. Maybe if it was, I don't know. Maybe. Audio. Okay, I kind of want to give this some release. Oh, I forgot to re-enable the pan flute. Oh, something was up with that. And I need that kick to be a little more powerful, actually. Yeah, there we go. Oh wait, there's a part that's missing here. I think it's the isn't it? Isn't it supposed to do that? Yeah, I think it's the flute that's supposed to do that. I know the marimba that's supposed to do that, but it doesn't. I think it does it over here. We can pull it. We can pull it there from there. Nice. Actually, I'm not sure those are the right notes for that. G and D seems like a not so usual combination that we've used here. Let's see. It looks like it is, in fact, going to be a G chord anyway. But let's see, maybe it's like... Nah. Nah. Maybe it's a sixth, like before. How would we do that? I'm just gonna try different combinations. Maybe. Nah. What the? You doing, man? That's dumb. Nah. I guess that's the best I can come up with, really. Unless it's like doing a dominant thing. Nah. That's the best I can come up with. Yeah, that works. Don't double on the ocarina, keep it one like it is on the ending, I believe. It's actually, the whole time, it's layered with that flute synth, if that's what you mean. So if you want to remove the, like the other parts, like the layers, then, let's see, that would be, if I mute those out, that would sound like this. I'm about that sound. It might, the pan flute needs to come up in volume, but other than that. I don't know about that. I think it's a little bit panned the wrong way too. There should be a there should be something layered with that, I think. It needs to be heavier. Nice. Okay, I think the marimba can come down in volume a little bit. The regular marimba. Maybe not that much though. Okay, I think that's sounding good so far. I'm I'm gonna start doing mixing now. So let's go to begin order of what we did first. So let's go into contact and give that an output. Okay, so that one be, let's see. Let's give that a mixer out. And then we'll send that to three outputs, 3 and 4. The next free place is the 12. But it's not going there, and why is that? Oh, because I sent the first one there, it's the second one. Okay, so let's simulate the sort of desirable saturation that the system gives by introducing saturation with saturation knob. And there's a sort of natural reverb in there, so we don't need to add any reverb on top of that. Okay, and then let's put an exciter on that, since we do want a lot of sharp highs. And we'll go quite generous on it. And let's put that in the accompaniment. Okay, that's sounding pretty good. Let's try to EQ that and see if we can improve the sound. I also want to remove any low-end rumble. There's a little bit of rumble in there, that like sub-bass rumble. We want to high pass that out. And let's also improve even more the, we can remove the exciter a little bit. Let's remove some of the mids there, reduce it a little bit. Nice. Okay, I like that. Let's call this... Let's call this Marimba. Or let's see, Marimba 1. Okay, let's see... Okay, that was just a variation I think I had made. Ah, yes. Okay, so the fluty with verb. Let's call this... Okay, let's give that a mixer track. And let's also give the pan flute a track, so that we can differentiate it. Let's create separate master output channel, and then we'll send this to plugin outs 5 and 6. And we'll send that to the next available track, which is 13. Well, actually, we want to send that to 14 because we want to be able to differentiate those two a little bit. And let's send that to lead. So let's focus on now just first the flute. And I do want that to be a little bit stereo, so let's give it a chorus effect. Much better. And I don't really want to do any saturation on this, because if you do that, all it's doing is going to bring out more overtones that I don't necessarily want. It's mostly a sine wave, so there's not really much that we should be doing here, you know, except maybe putting it to the leads. Okay, now we can focus on the pan flute. Okay, and this should be getting, actually this should be getting delay. So let's set that, I think it was like 1 step. Let's turn the level down, because we don't want to be creating too many echoes. Let's turn the wet down, and then let's give it some diffusion. Actually, this should be a pretty strong delay, because in the original it has the sense that it should be sort of distant. So we do want it to make it feel like distance. Okay, now the pan flute. Let's give it some saturation. Let's turn this one down, because I don't want it overshadowing the pan flute. Oh, that's getting a little bit of distortion artifacts. Let me turn this down. And I do want to put some chorus on that as well. I really feel that even in the game it has, like, it's exported with some chorus. And this can come down in volume as well. Can you revert back to the first marimba you used? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it sounded better. Let me see. Let's go back to that marimba. I forgot I did this. Okay, so the first marimba I used, currently I switched it out for the contact marimba. Whoa, no, thank you. But the first marimba that I used was, and what did I use? I really don't remember. First marimba I used was probably, let's see. Probably would have titled it Marimba. Oh, you know, I think at first I had mixed them up. No, wait. I had used Mallet Afro Marimba for the other part. And then I had switched it with the Yamaha marimba, so maybe they're the same patch. If that's what you're proposing, they could just be, one could just have reverb and one could just not. So we'll see about that. So let me try. First I want to try this Mallet Afro. Actually, I think that's used in, that's not used here, that's used in Stilt Village, I found out. And I have edited it with that thing in mind, so let's try just using the another instance of the reverb marimba, but we're going to keep it separate because one is going to have reverb and one is not. And I think I need another instance still because they need to be panned. Okay, now let's send that to our created, oh. Okay, now this one, I feel has plenty of highs, it just maybe needs to be reduced around here. And maybe it needs more fundamental frequency. Actually, no, I think it's good on the fundamental frequency. But why do they both pan so? Why do they both sound panned so much? Oh, I think it equals out when it's here. So let's make sure that when it plays solo, it's centered. Okay, there we go. Okay. Anyway, that sounds pretty good. Turn that down a bit. So let's I'm gonna call this, since this is the Yamaha Marimba, I'm gonna call it Marimba Ha. Just for fun. Let's call this Marimba Ha right. No, Marimba Ha left. This one's the left one. This one Marimba Ha right. And this one verb. You really think sus on the notes? I'll figure it out later, but this okay, so you like that? You like those patches? Because I like this one better. But whatever you like. Maybe it does need more fundamental frequency. That needs to go down in volume though. Maybe it is a different patch though. There's multiple of them within here, in here. Ah, I see I have a high pass on here too low, too high. I don't know, that one sounds too distant. Let's go back to the high one. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Yeah, I get that range a little bit more. The variation you called bright last time is nonsensical. I'm hearing too much buzz. A little bit of buzz there. Let me check that. Let's see. The version you called bright last. I don't remember the version I called bright last time. I don't remember calling anything bright. Okay, pretty good. Turn the chorus halfway down. Okay. Okay, so this needs a delay. Let's see. Let's turn the level down and then turn the wet to about halfway. Maybe a little more. Nice. Okay. Clarinet. That one's going to be the main out. Let's go send that to 15. Oh, because... Oh, wait, it's actually going to be 21. Okay, so this is a mono one, meaning that we're going to need to add chorus. Just slow it down and turn up the stereo, and then turn it to halfway. Okay, and let's give it a saturation knob. Okay, but someone said the marimba before is too buzzy. Yeah, it might be that exciter. Nice. Okay. Maybe the fourth variation needs to go in the third place. I don't understand what you mean because there's... I don't need... First of all, I don't understand what instrument you're talking about. Second of all, I'm not... You'd have to tell me in bars because I don't know which variation. Like in bar numbers, which one it is. The hi-hat sounds like tapping. It needs to produce more of a hissing sound. I think I understand what you mean by that. You mean the ride cymbal, right? But we'll get to that. I guess let's see. You mean you need to hear less bell? I don't know how I can have control over that. Yeah, maybe I can do more, less room. I think that should have a good, have the right effect if I use more overhead and less room. Okay, so that's gaining volume. Let's turn that down. Okay. Let's put a high pass on this. And I wanted to make it feel a little lighter by removing some of the weight in it. And I also want to... Okay, it needs more Selmar presence. Yeah, it needs to be like have it be sharper. Okay, so maybe this. Yeah, maybe a little bit more of that. Okay, and then we need our echo. And let's turn that timing to 1. And give it diffusion. Nice. And let's give that, put that into reverb lead. Nice, I like that. Okay. And let's also give that an exciter. There we go. Much better. Okay. Okay, so this is the second marimba. Okay, let's give this a mixer track. Okay, let's give that some saturation. And we're gonna send this to accompaniment reverb. Let's turn that down a bit. And one thing I think he did to get like a sort of reverberated sound is that he sort of accentuated the tail by using a compressor and limiter. Let's let it through a little bit with attack. And maybe we can put it back up in volume because it's losing a lot of volume doing that. Nice. And then we can give it an exciter. Exciters really give it that, like, simulate sort of like that crisp high that the depression that the GBA had. Nice. Okay, so the sax. Okay, we're gonna give that its own mixer track. Okay, and let's take that, send that to plug-in out 7 and 8. And let's send that to, I think it's 22 now, right? Nope, it's 23. Okay, let's call this sax. And let's give that chorus since it's really mono. Okay. Nice. Now let's saturate that. Nice. Let's move these a little bit up so I have more room for more effects. Okay, so now let's give it some EQing. Just like before, let's kind of accentuate the presence and stuff. All the while, it's getting a little loud, so let's turn that down, and then let's give it a high pass. Okay, and then let's give it a delay. Set at a timing of 1 step. Give it some offset, and let's turn down the level, and put it at about 2 o'clock. The wet at about 2 o'clock. Let's give it some diffusion. And then let's set some exciter. And let's turn that down a bit. Okay, and let's send that to the reverberated lead. Nice, I like that. Okay, now the Dynabass. Dynabass mostly just needs delay. So let's give that its own mixer track. Send that to accompaniment with no reverb. Why does it look so quiet? That thing needs to be like at 6 dB at least. There we go. Okay, so that, we can give that a little bit of saturation. Doesn't need much. Now that makes it louder. We can turn that down. Okay, and then we just need our delay. And we only need 1 echo, so let's turn the level all the way down. And we can have a little bit more echo. Let's give it a little bit of offset. Give it some diffusion as well. Nice. Okay. Now the acoustic bass. Let's make that have its own mixer track. Create separate master output, and then send that to plugin outs. Nine and 10. And let's send that to channel 25, I think. Nice. Okay, let's call that acoustic bass. It's already stereo, so we don't need any of that going on. We just need to make sure that it's peaking at 6 most of the time. It needs a little bit more of a boost. Okay, and we also need to EQ it, as since we're playing in a higher octave than the bass would normally play in, so we need to boost the bass a little bit. Nice. Now let's give it some saturation. And now, of course, it's going to increase in volume, so let's turn it down. Nice. And then let's send that to accompaniment with no reverb. Oh, I didn't actually give it any. Nice. Okay. Now the drums. Don't really need much because they're already mixed pretty well. Let's just send them to drums. Well, they could use a little bit of reverb maybe. Oh yeah, that sounds really good. Okay, so let's see what people are saying in chat. There are actually 2 echoes in that bass. You have 0, echo, echo. Ah. Wait, what do you mean? You mean on the Dyna bass? Oh, spoke too soon. Ah, okay, yeah. I see your arc now. Okay, let's hear it all. Okay, now the marimba, this marimba needs to come up. Turn this down. Okay, it's coming together pretty nicely. Okay, I still think that the contact marimba works better, or the VSL. They call it the VSL marimba, and Dave did use that before. Let me see. I'm gonna put both in and see. Oh yeah, if I'm gonna do that, I also have to have that automation where it goes. I mean, I don't hear it, honestly. I think this sounds better. Welcome, Full Elias Cleo fan. But whichever way you want it. I might just enable these like when I do a version. When I do a version, there'll be 2 separate uploads probably. One with the Donkey Kong, like one with the SNES version mixed in, and then I do my own thing, sort of like a long recreation like we've been doing. And then there'll be one with just the GBA version. So for that version, I think I'll use this, like for the one that you had commissioned with the where it's just the GBA version. I'll use this marimba, and that actually needs less. No wait, this is the yeah, this is the one I like. I like this one, but you like this one better, so I'll use this one in your upload. I kind of hear it here. Nah, it's still the contact one the contact one still sounds better to me. All right, you got it. So, what else? Let me just do... So, pretty much I've been at this for 3 hours, so I think I'm going to call it quits there. But let's give it one last listen, because I think this is almost complete as far as the GBA version goes. Let's see. The Dynabass is really loud, though. Is that actually 6 dB? Weird. I'll turn that down, because it just doesn't... Or at least turn the treble down. Yeah. Because the treble is kind of killing me there. Nice, I love that delay, this echo effects on the clarinet. Let's see. Yeah, it needs more presence. How loud is that? Okay, it can be a little less loud than that. Yeah, that's beautiful. Okay, I also would like to split up the, I would like to split this one up too, because I think it would benefit from like a left and right centered pattern. And that'll be the last thing I do before we go for the day. Okay, so this... Okay, one of these, it already kind of seems panned internally. Very good. Nice. Yeah, sex. I can delete this, I think. Cool, that's working out pretty well. This might need to come up a little bit. And let's check our, we're not having enough bass on this part. Surprisingly. Ah, there we go. Nice. Okay, and that comes because we're having too much mids, that's the thing. Nice. I think the rides should be a little less loud. Okay, and then I'll loop it by doing this. Control B. Okay, and I have an idea for an ending too. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Ah, I see my, so you're not going to hear that other flute anymore, and that's because my, the trial has ended. I have to fix the, what's it called, the license on that. Nice. And so let's give that a final kick at the end. And a final ride hit. And then there's that bridge in the middle, so I want to just cut that out. Remove this here. Okay, and then I'll do a final note of the Dynabass. Okay, maybe a quarter note. Nice. And then maybe a final hit. Nah, we'll leave it as is. And then I want to disable the echoes on that last part. Nice. Ah, I see. It tries to sneak a little thing in there for me. Cool. All right. Let's see. Huge improvement from last outing. Went from a B to an A. I have a few tweaks that will make it an S. I'm not sure. I didn't know S was a thing. I thought it was just A and A plus. But cool. It already sounds better than the other 3 covers on YouTube, and I don't say stuff like that. I mean it. Great. Glad you enjoy it. Alright, well with that, there will be a few tweaks added to that, but for now we'll call that complete. So yeah, next time we'll be coming back, we'll be either doing more Donkey Kong 64, or I have another one that I want to try to do. So we'll see. And I don't know when I'll be coming back. Probably maybe tomorrow. I do want to try again tomorrow. I'm going to make an effort to try again tomorrow. Alright, thanks y'all for coming to the stream, and this will be Jam and Sam signing off. Until next time, you guys have a great day.